Yep, sure.
Oh, very good evening to everyone who is watching with us. And today we are here to hype up the next season. And today, with me in commentary box, I have 8 cylinders here to introduce to you guys the new upcoming season in F1 as for PC as well as Xbox. So, 8 cylinders, how you doing today?
Ooh, I'm doing very well, Propi. I have been unable to contain myself. I think the rest of our viewers have been unable to contain themselves either. We have quite a few people watching today. But just before we get underway here with what a lot of people have been looking forward to for quite a long time with the kickoff of season 7, let's have a quick look at the season 7 trailer or intro.
Being a racing driver means you are racing with other people. And if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver. Because we are competing. We are competing to win. And the main motivation to all of us is to compete for a victory.
And that was a big wrap for us. And I can legit feel the excitement in the air. What about you, 8 cylinders? Are you hyped up for this?
There has been so much speculation, so many rumors, so much copy pasta going on behind the scenes on IRC's Discord. If you haven't joined IRC's Discord, by the way, what are you doing? Get on there right now, get up to it. But before we get on to the teams, which is what everybody's really excited for, I think we should also have a look at this season's calendar, which starts off this weekend, the 23rd of September. And we start off with the Xbox event, which happens on Thursday. Then we have PC F1 Tier 2, which happens on Friday, and I believe Tier 1 and
Saturday. So tier 2 will happen on Saturday, tier 1 will be happening on Sundays. The PC 2020 League will be happening on Sundays as well in the afternoon, that is. But just glimpsing through the calendar, because I'm pretty sure the chat is gonna butcher us if we delay them anymore from the grid reveal. It's basically we start off on September 23rd with Monza. September 30th we have the China Grand Prix. In October we will be beginning off with the Belgium, followed by Azerbaijan, USA, Mexico, Brazil, Australia, Britain, and Bahrain. Again, people who are participating in the league with us, no need to worry about memorizing or taking a screenshot of this because it will be available to you. So you no need to fret. And without further ado, 8 cylinder, should we go on for the grid reveal?
I think there will be some sort of public execution if we don't. So let's go ahead and
So
hop into. the Xbox.
Yes, I am pretty sure still the PC community will be mad that why their guild reveal didn't start. But again, boys, you need to be a bit patient. But starting off with the Xbox, from this season onwards, we are combining both Xbox as well as PC leagues. So the calendar that you saw will be followed by both the platforms. Even though we don't have cross-platform, we try to match it as much as possible. So starting off with the Alpine itself, we have HB58, who also goes by Hrithik, and he was there as our streamer in one of the races in the Regions Cup, and he's being paired with Stealthy Sunny, one of the previous drivers in our Xbox series, who is there since a long time. Following on to Aston Martin, the dark green livery there, Red Skull and Incognito Chelsea. A peculiar name that he has chosen there. But yeah, moving on to Ferrari, the red boys are here with driven by Rahul and Ace X. Ace X again.
That's gonna be a very strong driver lineup there. Both drivers very skilled. So Ferrari fans have a lot to look forward to on the Xbox League this season. It's gonna be a strong contender for them in the constructors.
Moving on to McLaren, we only have currently AJ Sam holding the full torch of that orange car, but I'm pretty sure he will be joined soon by his fellow teammate who is gonna come next. We will yet to see throughout the season, but he is currently alone in that McLaren. Moving on to Mercedes, what do you think about this pairing, man?
I think it's a pretty strong lineup on paper, but I feel like I'm not the first person to ask to with regards to the Xbox League. But based on just the names that I can see, that I believe Iceman's pretty good at the game. The other person, I unfortunately will butcher their name, but Goyat, I believe I had a shot. I had a shot.
Yeah. But, I will give it to you. You had a shot.
Yeah. So basically, it's gonna be a pretty strong lineup for Merc as well. So it's gonna be pretty competitive in the Constructors' Championship, Merc versus Ferrari. But we've generally seen it become a little topsy-turvy. Moving on to Red Bull, we have Butter Bob, interesting name there, and Starmax Lord, who participated in the Regions Cup. So a couple of familiar names here and there. A strong lineup there for Red Bull as well. And then we have Williams, probably my favorite team on the grid, and we have Phase Fighter and currently unfilled second seat at Williams. So it is up for grabs if anybody wishes to join Phase Fighter in the Williams seat. But yeah, currently just Phase Fighter carrying the torch there, and I think that's out of the Xbox tier rounded off. I think that's the lineup.
Yep, and if you want to catch all the action, all you have to do is tune into our YouTube channel tomorrow at 9 p.m. when they will start off the season. They will be the first ones to start off the season 7 from tomorrow itself. That is at 9 p.m. So moving on, what people have been waiting for, the PC Tier 1 grid reveal, and drum roll please. And we start with Alfa Romeo, who is being driven by the pairing of Wilster G and Akash. These two drivers have been there in the last season as well when they raced with us, especially Wilster G being one of our previous Tier 1 boys. Might be a very interesting pairing to see what they can pull out. Akash being one of the new fellow mates, but definitely he is showing a lot of pace in the previous evaluation races that we have been having from the past 2 or 3 days.
Yep, Wilster is definitely a strong contender. As we move on to Alpha Tauri, a very strong lineup on paper there. We have Moto in the car number 1 and Faizan in car number 2. Obviously, not really driver 1, driver 2. All drivers are equal here. No team orders, obviously, within IRC. But yeah, on paper, that is a very strong lineup. Both drivers have very respectable pace and can do pretty good things in the Alpha Tauri. So I'm looking forward to that performance a lot.
Yes, moving forward in Alpine, again we have Chicken and Streeter. Chicken again showing a lot of pace in the last season's Tier 2 races, and for that he has been promoted. We do have Streeter, who is coming back from the dead and will be paired with Chicken for the same thing. I think
I think Streeter can sleep easy today because the whole of yesterday he might have been kept up last night because someone had made the mistake of saying that Streeter may or may not get the Alpine seat, which went down very well with Streeter, but he can rest easy. He has gotten that second Alpine seat. That beautiful Alpine livery is going to be driven by Streeter this season. As we move on to Aston Martin Racing, Akash Sonavane, and Evil Dog. Again, another very strong lineup. And the second Akash on the grid. We have the other Akash as well. And yeah, Evil Dog will be looking to carry on his pace from previous seasons. We've seen a lot of good performances from him. He's been doing well in the eval races as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing those two boys in that car, the Aston Martin.
Especially after Evil Dog switched to his wheel in the previous season, he suddenly got a lot of pace. And with the coaching that he got from Kapil in the last season, I'm pretty sure he is here to take on Kapil one-on-one. As we say that, let's move on to Ferrari, the Red Boys with Blacksheep and Sid Kulkarni. So Blacksheep is here since the season 1 of IRC, but he is now being paired with one of the newcomers, Sid Kulkarni, who was in Tier 2 in the last season, but definitely showed a lot of midfield to top field pace in the last season, and in this season he has the guidance from Blacksheep to improve.
In many ways, I see sort of parallels with Kimi Räikkönen and Giovinazzi. There you have the old guard and you have the new blood coming in, so that's definitely going to be an interesting lineup. Sid Kulkarni definitely going to be trying to learn as much as possible from Blacksheep throughout the course of the season, because that Ferrari seat is a big responsibility and there's going to be pressure on him to deliver as he moved to the Haas team. Forever a meme in real life, and I think it may end up being a meme in the season as well, because Kapil is driving for Haas, isn't he? So that's going to go down well with the community. Kapil in the Haas, and KG is going to be joining him in the other Haas car. I believe KG is KAY.
It's the same right? person. Yes.
Man, why do you have to confuse us like this, KG? Anyways, KG put up a very strong performance in Tier 3 last season, so it's going to be a big step up from him, a big step up for him from Tier 3 to Tier 1. So yeah, I wish those boys all the best, and we hope to see not just Spinalas from the Haas boys. That would be a bit disappointing.
So moving on to the McLaren, we have the pairing of RB and Harry. Harry finally being promoted to Tier 1 after 2 seasons being in Tier 2 and showing that he has the racecraft to deal with the big boys. So right now he is being paired with our previous season Tier 2 champ RB Ferrello there. So this seems like a strong pairing, a good guy with a good pace and another guy with a good racecraft. So these two people can really bring out wonders on the track.
Yep, and moving on to...
Oh, my bad.
Briefly saw Merc pop up there on my screen, and wow, that is a really strong driver lineup. The Cuba Rabi and Aditya, both of these boys have been really impressive in the past. Cuba Rabi especially, special mention to him. He has been really killing it in the evaluation races, so and in the Merc in the evaluation races as well. So he'll be happy to know that he has received the Merc seat and can move forward from there. Aditya also, a lot of pace from him.
The best thing about Cuba Ravi is that he's directly being promoted from Tier 3 to Tier 1. So that's the progress that this man has made on the field, and especially in the eval races we could clearly see that a wheel that he got has helped him improve in that matter as well. Moving on, we have Red Bull. Yes.
That is a very strong lineup, and Oxygen definitely got the pace to be the champion this season. He was definitely one of the standout stars from last season. Kaushik as well. We've seen sort of inconsistency in Kaushik from times, but this new opportunity in the Red Bull will give him an opportunity. Well, I keep saying opportunity too many times, but it is an opportunity for not only us to see the driver lineups, but also Kaushik to establish himself at the top. So Red Bull have got a big challenge ahead of themselves. A lot of good team lineups, but that's a solid team on paper, and I really like that. That's a good combo.
Indeed, and I think this is the final, grid for us. 8-cylinder, yourself will be pairing with Anish Monterio in the Williams. Just for the audience, even 8-cylinder didn't know which tier or which car he is getting. So whatever reaction he gave was genuine reaction. # not edited or anything. So 8-cylinders, what are your thoughts on this?
This is going to be... I've pretty made it open in my mind that I'm going to be taking the F1 League pretty seriously, but as I said, or as I have said to myself, I'm not going to take it too seriously. And actually, the Williams seat gives me a really good opportunity to establish myself in the league, so people won't be too surprised by seeing a Williams in last place. But I'm really happy with that.
I am pretty sure the main reason for the giving you the Williams is we want to see another Russell coming up in Tier 1.
Oh, let's not get ahead of ourselves, Propi. I think last season Eccentric took the
Williams,
championship in a
yes,
Williams, so
yes.
me and Anish have some lofty expectations to live up to. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. It's gonna be a fun season ahead.
And I think with that we are done. Yes, that I was correct. So we are done with our tier 1 grid reveal, and as you can see the times, it will be organized on Sundays at 8 p.m. We are moving tier 1 to Sundays just so that we can get that many viewers to watch our top of the league battle it out on the track.
Yep.
So that will be on the Sunday. So if you want to catch the tier 1 battle, tune in on our YouTube channel on Sundays at 8 p.m. So moving on for the tier 2 grid reveal, I think already they saw a sneak peek of one of the constructors before because of I fat fingered on the keyboard. But let's go
briefly
there.
briefly saw Don's name pop up, and there he is. So we have Rambo and Don filling out the seats at the Alfa Romeo team. That is a really good livery, and I think Don will be pretty happy with that. Rambo as well, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how they perform. I think Don's been pretty hyped up for the season as well. Everybody has been in general. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Alfa Romeo performs in Tier 2. So yeah, Don and Rambo in Tier 2.
Yeah, Don has been a bit off the game since the past, couple of seasons, but he is definitely ready to come back in F1 2021. And with Rambo as his teammate, he can look for scoring some good points. But moving on to AlphaTauri, we have the combination of BK19 and Satwik. Satwik, again, one of our old OG guys in our league racing. He does know a lot about the racing, league racing in general, and driving properly with a good pace around any circuit you give it to him. And BK19 again, one of our tier 2 boys in the last season, showed a good pace, always stayed in the top to the middle pack in the previous tier 2 season, and he might seem to dominate this year's tier 2 race for sure.
Yep, and BK19's got good pace as well. He was in Tier 2 last season. Still keeps it in Tier 2, but it's not really the same tier system, so we can't really say too much. But yeah, I'm really happy to see that both these guys have teamed up, and we can expect good pace from these two guys in the AlphaTauri.
Yes, indeed. So moving on to Alpine, we have the Banat and Freeman teaming up. So what do you think about this?
Oh, I think Banat will be a little disappointed because he has been pining for that Williams seat for the past couple of weeks. But he can be happy because he's got the best livery on the grid by some distance. The Alpine is quite a handsome-looking car, and we have Freeman returning to the league as well. We've seen hints of Freeman all throughout last season in Tier 1. We saw him coming in for a couple of races, but hopefully we can see more of Freeman this time around. He was in the McLaren, but this time he is in the Alpine, so swapping the United Kingdom for France. But yes, the Banat, a hot prospect within IRC, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see how him and Freeman get on. Again, it's a case of old guard and young blood coming together.
Yes, indeed, and hopefully Freeman stands up to his name and is a much more freer man this season, and he participates in more of the races. But one thing I know about Freeman is that no one can defend better than him in this community. So definitely Banat will also have a lot of chance to learn a couple of things, and probably Freeman will also get that same thing. And this pairing can be really strong because Banat did show a lot of pace in the evaluation races that we had.
Exactly. Moving on to the green team from England, Aston Martin in Tier 2 will be represented by Monk and Violent Gandhi. Monk, we have seen good pace from him in previous IRC seasons. I think he's also a guy that has done well in Tier 2 last season. Not entirely sure about Violent Gandhi. I believe he has been more active on the ACC side. That's where I've definitely seen him more active. But going to be interesting again to see an odd team lineup, let's say.
Yeah, Violent Gandhi is making a comeback. So basically, in the last season, I think he did start off racing, but then left it in middle. But I hope that this time he will be staying here for longer, and especially supporting his teammate for, taking that Aston Martin up to the WCC Championship.
Yep, indeed. Moving on to the highly coveted Maranello team, Ferrari will be represented by Aaron Gavin and Jon Snow 007. I've never seen a larger clash of characters in my life. Jon Snow and James Bond. Interesting. But yeah, that's going to be a strong lineup as well. I think that's two relative unknowns in the Ferrari. So we've got a lot to look forward to in terms of the potential pace for future Tier 1 drivers. I think Aaron Gavin is a little new to the game as well. Jon Snow, not too... he's sort of, let's say, a diamond in the rough, let's say.
Yes.
So we're definitely going to see an opportunity for these guys to really establish themselves in the Ferrari. It's going to be a lot of pressure for them. But yeah, Aaron Gavin and Jon Snow in the Ferrari.
Moving on for the Haas boys, we have DJ and Rooker who will be representing the Haas boys. Again, DJ showing a lot of good pace in the Tier 3 race that he was in the last season, and definitely will look for improving. Even Rooker was also one of the top Tier 3 boys in the last season, and now he is promoted to Tier 2, and we will be looking out for this pairing as well. DJ also an experienced driver in other games as well, some might say, so those experience might come into play here as well.
DJ has come strength to strength in a lot of aspects. His racecraft's gotten a lot better. Consistency has been spectacular in ACC, and he can only carry that over to F1. He's been very good in the eval races. Very he's been around the 7th, 8th positions. As in, definitely the faster guys have been ahead of him, but it's been good performances from him so far. So definitely high expectations for DJ, and it's going to be a very, very good season for Haas, definitely. Then we have Avi gone rogue and Solo. I think that's pronounced Solo. Yeah, it's pronounced Solo. Avi gone rogue was in tier
2. I think.
Tier 2, I believe, and I think he finished P9 in Tier 2. So a chance for him to, again, re-establish his credentials in Tier 2. Again, the tier system is a little bit different this time around. But yeah, Avigon Rogue and Solo in the Papaya McLaren cars for this season.
I think this is one of the first league racing for Solo in our community. So he will be, looking for new experiences and, probably having a lot of fun driving along with his teammate in that McLaren. But moving on to the Mercedes, we have the pairing of Warhammer and Yesh. Yesh again seems like one of the newcomers in our league, and he will be paired with Warhammer, who had shown a lot of pace in the last couple of races that he raced with us in Tier 2 in the last season. So he wasn't there for a big time, but for whichever race he was there, he dominated it, and this...
Indeed, so that's going to be... It's going to be a fairly sort of imbalanced team, but we've seen a lot of that across a number of teams, across a number of tiers so far. So anytime we see sort of a mismatch in terms of pace, in terms of teammates, we don't look at it as a kind of a disadvantage or a sort of ballast. We look at it as a learning opportunity for the slower driver to learn from the faster driver, and that is at the end of the day the aim of the game. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Yash performs. Obviously, welcome to the community, and Warhammer is...
on that point that you said, the slower guy can learn a lot of things from the faster guy. Sometimes it can go other way also. But as you said, that's the aim of the game, and not only the game, the aim of the community for, people to learn from someone else, and hopefully we see them in Tier 1 in the next season. But moving on to Red Bull, we have Abhi 20 and Abhi, so a big nightmare.
Oh, this is going to be the commentator's curse. It's going to be Abhi. Which Abhi is it? Abhi 20 or standard Abhi? But it's Abhi and Abhi in the Red Bulls. I can already imagine the commentating and
at this point
organizing nightmare.
It feels like, the coordinators wanted to play a game with us, commentators, and that's why they paired them together.
If that is the case, they should have put Akash and Akash Sonamani in the same team, but obviously that didn't happen. So we have Abhi and Abhi in the RB. Hey, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? We have Abhi and Abhi in the RB, the Red Bull. So yeah, again, if we talk about their pace, both of them very fast drivers in their own individual ways. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the Red Bull boys get on in Tier 2.
Yes, moving on to the last team of Tier 2, the last grid to be revealed. AlphaBot and Ripe will be pairing up in the Williams. So AlphaBot, he has shown a lot of pace in the time trial, especially. Definitely, and I think Ripe is also one of the Tier 3 boys. So both of them coming directly from Tier 3 will, tend to assert their dominance in Tier 2 right now and show what Tier 3 cooked them for in the last season.
Also, I should probably mention that AlphaBot has since elevated. He has now become BetaBot, so
Okay.
we shall refer to him as such. And Ripe is a pretty competitive guy. He is on keyboard, but he has not let that be a disadvantage for him. So it's definitely going to be interesting performances from the Williams boys, and I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I think that's a wrap up of Tier 2 of F1
Yes.
2021 as
Yes,
well.
indeed. So talking about Ripe itself, as you mentioned, we can clearly see him, putting out his hot lap on keyboards and, sometimes even beating our wheel players by quite a margin on with the keyboard in the hot lap session. But that's it for Tier 2 grid reveal, and as you can see, the time for the Tier 2 races will be on Saturday at the rate of 8 p.m. So again, these times are subjective to change if there is an IRL race in that time slot, but this will be the time that we will follow. Same goes for Tier 1 as well. There might be a slight bit of change of time based on that week's in real life GP, but this is what the standard is. But without further delay, let's move on to the last grid that we have to reveal today. That is the PC 2020 tier that we are gonna run for this season. A short
So
brief.
we should probably give a little bit of a rundown on why exactly we have one tier on F1 2020, and that's primarily because a lot of people have still not transitioned to F1 2021. So we do have quite a few players who wanted to be involved in Season 7 but did not have the F1 2021 game. So we are also giving them an opportunity to still showcase their presence in league racing, and so we have a tier on F1 2020.
Yes, indeed, and especially considering that the game prices rose a lot from this edition of the game onwards, we are giving some time for people to buy and the game to get on sale, so that maybe from the next season definitely we will be completely moving on to 2021. But for this season, just so that those boys are not left out, we have a league in 2020. But starting off with Alfa Romeo, we have Soham Day and Prithvi. Again, something that I noticed in F1 2020 grid is that a lot of these drivers are new, and we tried, they are paired with some of the experienced drivers again for the same reason, so that they can learn a lot of things. Prime example we can see in front of our screens right now, Soham Day being paired with Prithvi being one of the newcomers, but again, Soham Day being our experienced keyboard warrior will definitely be helping out Prithvi for the rest of the season.
Yep. Moving to Alpha Tauri, we have Vinay and Mighty Owl.
Yes, indeed. So Vinay being one of the previous drivers, in Tier 3, so again, one of the experienced person, I think he has been with us since the past 3 seasons now, and that's a big time to gain a lot of experience in this field. But again, Mighty Owl sounds like someone new. I might be completely wrong, don't quote me on that, but I believe that he is pretty new to the community, and Vinay's experience will definitely pair this team up really good in the standings.
Yep, it's going to be all clean sailing for AlphaTauri. As we move to the Ferrari team, we have Neon and Adventurous Eddie. Adventurous Eddie is definitely not a name that I've encountered before, so he is definitely a new member of the community, so welcome. And Neon is someone that we've seen before. We've seen him in Tier 3, I believe. So,
yes.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty solid team lineup for there. Again, a lot of opportunities for Eddie to learn from Neon as well, and it's going to be pretty interesting for the Ferrari boys across the season.
Yes, moving on, we have the Haas pairing of Highride and Acid. So Acid here is the anhydrous Acid who used to race with us. Might not be that available for this season, and that's why he has chosen to go for F1 2020. But Highride there, also known as Bioride, was in Tier 3 last season and did win a couple of podiums in the last season as well, especially in the wet conditions. So definitely this could be a really strong pairing in my opinion for the constructor championship, especially for that.
Also, I've seen about 4 different spelling of Acid's names, so it's pretty confusing at this point.
No, you will get to know. So there are 2 acids. You will get to know as we move forward.
Okay, moving to McLaren, we have Smartak and we have Rajesh. So that's going to be. I think there's 2 new drivers. I think we haven't seen either of them in F1 so far. So relatively unknown prospects. So we can't really expect anything from them. I think just putting clean races in, getting results, getting points on the board will be a big achievement for these guys. Of course, I'm not speculating anything. These guys could end up being the next champion, but no pressure, boys. It's going to be an interesting season for them as we move to Mercedes.
Yes, so Mercedes is being headed by Manish Kanchan and Eric Griffin, both, kind of our previous race. They were there in Tier 3. Manish Kanchan especially showing a lot of pace in the evaluation races that we had, and Eric Griffin also showing a good enough consistency, and they have been paired together for the Mercedes seat for the next season. So we will see what this pairing can do, but definitely I'm expecting even this pairing to be up there in the top in WCC battle.
Definitely. Moving on to, it's very nice to see Pink return to the grid as we're still playing on F1 2020. So we still have Racing Point as a team. And for Racing Point, we have Ink and Abarpan. Abarpan is a driver that we've had in the past in F1 seasons. And I believe Ink is new, I think.
He was there for a couple of races towards the end of season 6 in tier 3 itself. So he was there.
He'll have a chance to properly establish himself in season 7 then alongside Abarpan in the Pink Panthers.
Yes, especially because Abarpan is our first keyboard god that we have. Still no one can beat him on the keyboard, so definitely a good learning that will come from Abarpan for Ink there. But moving on for Red Bull, we have Uday69 and the SSJ Assassin. So SSJ Assassin again being one of our previous tier 3 boys. Even Uday I think was part of our tier 3 for a couple of races, but SSJ Assassin really showed a lot of pace in the Ferrari, especially in the last season, and hopefully he continues that in this season as well.
Indeed. And SSJ has got really strong pace, so that won't be in any doubt whatsoever. In the Renault team, we have Aki Hegde, I believe his name is, and Joker. Again, I'm not.
I think Joker was a part of our tier 3 for quite some time. Like, he participated in a couple of races, definitely in the league, and he does have some league racing experience with us. But again, I believe Aki is new to our community, and definitely Joker will help him support and learn the ways of the league racing, as you may say.
Indeed. It's going to be very interesting to see. A lot of these lineups are very interesting to see. And then we have the Williams team, and we have another. This is the confusion. I thought ADC and Acid were the same people.
That's why I said just wait for it.
So it's going to be confusion central in the commentary box. But we have Madhav, aka Shalalak, and ADC. Madhav is an F1, he's an IRC member that requires no introduction. He's very prevalent on ACC. He's there on F1. I believe he was the Tier 2 champion last season. The season before that.
Season before that, yes.
Season 5, he was the Tier 2 champion. So Madhav bringing a lot of pace in that Williams car, and I believe ADC is new to the game and new to league racing with IRC as well. So it'll be an interesting opportunity for him to learn a lot from Madhav. Madhav definitely a lot of experience on F1 2020, so it'll be a good learning opportunity.
Yes, indeed. So with that, we come to an end of our grid reveal. As you can see, the timings for the F1 2020 league will be on Sundays at the rate of 2:30 p.m. afternoon, in the afternoon after you had your lunch. So we advise you to have lunch before this time, before joining the race lobby. But that's it in the grid reveal aspect. All the drivers whom we have announced will be getting their respective roles by end of day today or by end of day tomorrow, so that you guys can start chatting up with your teammates. You will soon see your team VCs, so even tier 1 of 2021 can help out a PC 2020 guy in getting up to pace, and you can ask them to be your race engineers. Whatever kind of guidance you want, your teammates are there. Doesn't matter if they are in the same tier or league as such, so you can always contact them, and you would soon see your team VCs as soon as you are given the role. If you missed any of this, don't worry, we will be putting out the same info, the calendar and the info, in one of the channels, and we will be informing you where it will be. be more details about the league, how the lobby is gonna be, and when the lobby will be up, and all those kind of minute details. Our coordinators are there to help you out on that. So always reach out to them. We have our tier 1 coordinator, which is currently Faizan. Tier 2 coordinator is Eccentric, and PC 2020 coordinator is Electrip. So you can reach out to these 3 people, or you can just tag their roles if you need any help, any minute details on those aspects. But fret not, don't worry. Right now we will be giving you all the details that you need before this weekend starts, and hopefully we'll see you all on the track this weekend for our season kickoff. But with that said, I think it's time to close 8 cylinders.
Yep, I think the hype has really delivered. That was a very action-packed 40 minutes that we have just gone through. A whole roller coaster of emotions for a lot of guys. I've been particularly seeing a lot of reactions going on in the chat, a lot of interesting. A lot of people have gotten their team of preference, and some people have not. It's been surprising ups and downs, but that is racing at the end of the day. And
Yes.
sometimes it is predictable, and sometimes it is unpredictable. But with that, I think we can conclude, and we can
Yes.
say thank you very much for watching the grid reveal today, and make sure to keep all eyes across all socials for the big opener at Monza coming up this weekend.
Especially if you liked what you see, and if you have some friends who are interested in similar things, then do not forget to invite them to our Discord server. We are more than 1,000 members now, a milestone that we crossed recently. So definitely the more we are, the more stronger we are, and the more fun we will have league racing. All the links can be found in the description below to all our social media and everything. And if you missed the grid that the constructor that you are representing, or the tier which tier you are assigned, don't worry, you can just head over to Instagram. We will be putting out the full grid there as well in the next couple of hours, so you can head over there and you can check again and confirm again this grid that you saw here. But that's it from me and 8 cylinders, and I think we'll sign off for today. Thank you for joining in, thank you for watching, and hope to see you all on track.